Welcome back to the Joy of Vinyl. I'm Rick Coste. I go through a lot of different cleaning routines, or have over the past few years. So I finally landed on one that I've been using for the past couple weeks that I really like. So I'm going to share that with you and hope it helps. Enjoy. Let's kick things off with the solution that I've started to use. The main ingredient of Tergikleen is the surfactant Tergitol, and it's a highly effective detergent from what I've read. The company which makes Tergikleen recommends 10 to 20 drops per gallon of distilled water. I use 20. It's also a two-step process, meaning it's highly recommended that you rinse your records in pure distilled water after cleaning. I checked in with the makers of Tergikleen about what the harmful effects would be to skip the rinsing step, and they likened it to not rinsing your plates after washing them. It's an excellent analogy. It's also an alcohol-free product, which I know is very controversial for some. I don't recommend using alcohol either, so I was glad to see that Tergikleen does not contain any alcohol. For my two-step process, I use a Record Doctor 6 to perform a deep vacuum clean and a spin clean for the rinse. You can find the Record Doctor on Amazon as well as other online stores. The Spin Clean can also be found on Amazon and elsewhere. I'll include some links in the show notes below. To start, place the record on the Record Doctor and apply a few drops of the cleaning mixture. I used the same bottle that came with the Record Doctor after discarding its solution and cleaning it. I really like the brush that the Record Doctor folks supplied. It's soft and it actually spreads the product evenly across the surface. One tip that I'll add is to dampen the bristles in distilled water before using it. It helps with the spreading, I've noticed. You'll notice that the solution doesn't bead, but it actually covers the record. It's almost like a slick surface. That's the Tergikleen surfactant at work. If I used pure distilled water, it would collect in small puddles around the record. It's also getting into the groove. You'll notice I placed a piece of tape on the knob itself. You'll see why in just a moment. It's because I like to know when I've made a full revolution to allow the Record Doctor's vacuum to clean the record or to fully clean the record. There's no mark on the knob itself, so the tape helps me. That's a little nudge to the folks who make the Record Doctor. After letting it sit for a few moments, it's time to clean the solution off. Just flip the record over as you would on a turntable, turn the Record Doctor on, and slowly turn the knob. You want to do it slowly to give the vacuum a chance to do its work. For me, one revolution is really all it takes. You can do more if you'd like to turn it a little quicker. After one side is done, repeat the process for the other side. Now, the Record Doctor is somewhat loud. It's not much different than a shop vac, so you really won't want to do this when people are sleeping. So just bear that in mind. Now, for those curious about how it cleans, I placed a clear record on the Record Doctor so you can see it in action. That's pretty cool, right? After both sides have been cleaned using the Tergikleen, it's time to rinse it off. This is where the spin clean comes in. And there's really not much to it. The reservoir is filled with distilled water, so all you need to do is to give the record a couple of spins. I place it on its side afterwards to let some of the water drain off. Then it's back on the Record Doctor to give it its final clean. And that's it. It is an involved process, but it's well worth it. I've noticed the difference. It results in a quieter record, and between the Tergikleen and the vacuum, the groove is left clean and it's ready for the stylus. One last tip. When cleaning the record or when putting the record on the Record Doctor, I always start with side one, because if I'm cleaning a lot of records, you kind of tend to zone out sometimes and you might not know, hey, which side did I clean? But if you always start with side one and then flip over to side two, you can kind of keep track of it. But that's about it. So if you have any questions, leave a comment or head over to joyofvinyl.com to get in touch. See you soon.